Hey y'all. So listen. Welcome Instagram, welcome Facebook. I'm going to invite a few friends. Come on in the room, baby. We are going to have a serious conversation that is so overdue, but is much needed. I'm excited about this conversation. I haven't been excited about a conversation, like sincerely excited, in quite some time. But I'm excited about this conversation. I understand that this conversation is going to change the trajectory of your life and as how it pertains to your household, how it pertains to your relationships at home. Hey now, hey KO, hello Instagram, come on in the room, honey. Yes, thank you for joining. I'm just inviting some friends on Facebook. Please feel free to share, tag, and invite a friend. I don't know your friends. You know what I mean? I know y'all. So come on in the room. We're going to have this conversation. I hope you guys had a wonderful, wonderful Wednesday. Mine was so much longer than I anticipated. Just came back from the gym. So I'm a little sweaty. I'm looking a little rough. But that's all right. I'm going to get a haircut this weekend. Okay? Well, tomorrow. I think I'm going to get a haircut tomorrow because I'm looking a little rough. But that's because I have a engagement, so I'm just holding off. But come on in the room, y'all. Do me a favor. Invite, share, tag, whomever. And if you have a spouse, grab them close, baby. Hello, Kindlin. Hello, beautiful. Please tag, share. Tell your friends I'm in the building, okay? We're about to have a conversation. I'm prepared to ruffle a few feathers, and that's absolutely fine. I'm prepared to step on a few toes. That's what I do. The most you can do is block me, and I don't really care. Okay. Because this big girl right here about to lay it on you. You hear me? Okay. So, we are talking about, so the Democratic House won, but what's up with yours? What's up with your house? Is your house in order? Do you have control of your house? Yes, the Democrats won. Hey, Shireen. Hey, my baby, my business partner. Yes, the Democratic House, Democratic Party won the House, and we're all excited. But what's really good with your house? Like, is everything in order? Do you need? Hey, thank you, Leah Michelle. Hey, gorgeous face. So stinking pretty. I love to salute another sister. I am one of those that will cheer on another female in a minute. And it wasn't always that way. I used to hate on another female. That's because I wasn't secure in who I am. But now, baby, I bid you up, baby. How you doing? How are you doing? Tag, share, and invite a friend to this conversation. This conversation is going to make a few of you uncomfortable. But where there is uncomfortability, there is a birth, okay? You have to be stretched to an uncomfortable position to give birth to something. So I have invited, tagged, and I've shared this enough to enough people. I hope that you guys would love me and oblige and send, tag, and share. Okay? So let's get started in this good old conversation. I want to say hello to everybody. Hey, Noble. Hey, Rachel. Hey, Leah. How you doing? Hey, Phyllis. Hello. Hey, Lamont. Hey, Kashif. I was on your live earlier. Only reason I got off is because I don't understand the Arabic language. But otherwise, I would have stayed on. I got a little lost. So I said, okay, maybe this message isn't for me. But I would have stayed on. Philip, how you doing? Hey, Kia. How you doing? Another Philip is in the building. Hello. Hey, Bass. How are you? Hey, Maria. How you doing, Monet? Hey, Teresa. My royal sister Monet is in the building. Hello, Melvin. Hello, Lynette Treywick. I miss you. Hello, Kimberly Brown Sugar Smith. Hello, Nasir Shine. Hello, how you doing? Donnell, how are you? Charlie, how are you? Andra. Hey, Andra. How are you, gorgeous face? Hello, John. Shireen, my baby, one of my business partners. Rachel, hey, gorgeous. You guys want to get your finances in order, contact Rachel Hannibal. Earl Wilson, hello, James. Hello, DeWine. Let's get right into this conversation. Hello, Kenneth. And for those of you, hello, Cousin Feek. If I did miss you, hello, Rick Johnson. Hello, you're watching from Costa Rica. Hello, we are international at this point, honey. When you say you calling you from Costa Rica, baby, I done made it. All right, so I hope you guys can hear me fine. I hope you guys can see me well. Hello, Bria. I miss you. I miss you. I hope all is well with you and Peanut. So tonight's topic, guys, I'm going to go straight into it. For those of you who are new to watching me, my name is Tashanique, CEO and founder of The Great You. I want to thank each and every one of you who have continuously supported me throughout some time. I thank you. I want to thank each and every one of you sincerely from my heart. It means I don't care if I got 1 follower or 1 million, okay? Numbers on followings don't matter. It's about my bank account that matters to me. And you guys helped me tremendously, so I thank you. So tonight's topic is about, so everybody's so excited. Everybody made sure that we went out and we voted, and those who are Democratic parties voted and made sure that the House won. We Democrats, we won the House. High five. Oh, and yes, please continue to share. Hello, Kenneth. I want to give you a big kiss, mwah, from me to you out there in Costa Rica. And I want to give a shout out to my Instagram family. Mwah. Hello to you guys. And a lot of you guys, hey, PDQ, we have a lot of work. We have some things coming up in 2019. You might want to connect. We might want to connect. Hey, Giselle, I miss you. Hello. To everyone under the sound of my voice, I want to say thank you. I pray that God has blessed you guys tremendously. I pray that if there were some storms that came your way, that you guys were able to move through them effortlessly. Dorian, hello, Dorian Brewer. I haven't seen you in a while. Hello, thank you for joining. So on tonight, we're talking about, okay, so the House won. I miss you, Giselle. Please tag, share, and invite a friend. Please tag, share, and invite a friend. Don't be selfish with me. You hear me? Feek, how are you? Hello. So a lot of us, we were excited. We went out, we voted. We got our stickers. We were all about, we got to get the Democrats in the building. Hello, D. Alexander. And that was great. Hello, Eric. How you doing? And it was good, right? And that's what we wanted. And we won the House, okay? Absolutely. High five to all of you that went out, especially in the city of Philadelphia, in the state of Pennsylvania. You showed out, you showed up, and you showed out. Hey, Rabina, how you doing? I pray all is well with your son. Send my love. I still would like to meet him. So on today, I understand we won the House, and we have control of the House. But my question to you is, do you have control of yours? I'll wait. Do you have control of yours? Hello, K-Cup. My baby is on Instagram. Hello, beautiful. My other business partner, and along with Shireen Tate. Hello. It's always great to see you when I can't see you in person at meetings. Hello, Katora. We won the control of the House for the Democratic Party, or those who have voted Democratic. However, the question rises, do you have control of yours? And so there's a couple of things that I want to address. There's a couple of things that I want to ask. And there's a couple of things that I want you to ask yourself and check yourself. So I'm going to help you check you. So this is the time right now where I would encourage you to get your favorite beverage, whatever that is, your beverage of choice, whether it's juice, wine, whatever. Hey, Aaliyah Bradley, I miss you. I love you, my 917. Kiara, hello. So this is the time to grab your spouse, grab your beverage of choice, grab a snack if you like, and let's get into it. So we won the House. Democrats, we won the House. But my question again is, do you have control of yours? What's going on beyond and behind the scenes in your household? See, a lot of us we went out and we voted, and we wanted to make sure that the right people were in place for the Democratic Party to take over the House, but yet our own residency is in shambles. Our own residency is in shambles. And I'm not a person that says, okay, 2019 is my year. 2019, new you, new me, or new whatever they say. I don't new year, new me. I don't know because I don't say it. But whatever. I'm not one of those people. But if you are one of those individuals, I want to make sure that you got your household in order. Yes, you can, PDQ. Just send an invite and I'll accept it. But I want to make sure that your household is in order before you move on. So this is to the individuals who are married. This is to the individuals who are single parent. This is to men. This is to women. This is not to any particular gender or any particular demographic. So one of the things I want to address is your house in order? This is for my individuals who are in a relationship, primarily those who are married. Especially this part right here is for my women, for my wives, right? So we go to work, we take care of the kids, we do all these things, but what we don't do is create balance. And our household is in order, and then you wonder why. And this is coming from a person who was an adulterer. This is coming from a person who didn't have a problem taking your husband. This is a person coming from a person who didn't have a problem sleeping with your husband 4 years. And then we come in and you wonder, how did she get here? Well, we got here because you didn't have control of your house. We got here because you didn't have control of your marriage. We got here to have control of the things you were supposed to be responsible for. PDQ, send your invite. I got you. Focus on everything else, and we don't know how to create balance. Renine, hello, my beautiful sister. We get to a place where, okay, I got the husband. PDQ wants to join. Hello, I don't know how to invite. Are you on, PDQ?
I'm here. How you doing?
Hi, baby. So we have a special guest. PDQ Boss is in the building, author and extraordinaire speaker. And so we get to this point where we're married and we have children, and we forget to have a balance. We forget to say, okay, I want to make sure that I tend to my husband or my mate. I want to make sure that I tend to my children. I wanted to make sure that I tend to my own personal needs. I want to make sure that I tend to the work that I do. We lose balance. And a controlled house must have balance. If you don't have balance, you have an uneven scale. And either way, it may tilt, whether negative or positive. So you need to have a balance. Do you have control of your house? Is every area of your house being controlled? We want to make sure that the Democrats is in office and that they're running the house, but yet your house is running in shambles. You want to make sure that the right individuals are elected, but yet you've been elected to control your household, but yet you've dropped the ball. Yet the ballots have been casted and you're not in position. Yet you are a single mother, and yet because you are mad at your ex because he has moved on, you don't allow your children to interact with their biological father because you're in a new relationship. Is your household in order? Because you can't remove your emotions. You can't remove how you feel about that person who broke your heart. See, he broke your heart. He didn't break the kid's heart. He wants to still be a father in your child's life. But because you feel like you moved on into another relationship, but unbeknownst to the guy that you're with, you really only with him because you want to really make the other one mad, but he ain't mad. He over you. He on to a whole nother relationship. But what you do is you keep your children that is attached to your hurt. You keep them away from their father. Is your house in control? Do you have control of your house? You went out and you voted rain. I mean, it was pouring yesterday. And you went out and you said, I'm going to make my stand. I'm going to make my voice count. I'm going to make my vote count. But in your household, does your voice matter? You mad about that man? He done moved on, sis. He over you. Maybe you was too much of an egg. Maybe you need to check yourself and have some accountability. And realize that maybe you opened the door for him to go on out the door. But the reality is, he's still the father of your child. But because you hold on to the hurt that he caused you, You're allowing your emotions, because you can't separate them. You're allowing your hurt to spill over into your children that have absolutely nothing to do with it. And the question again is Rose, and I rise the question, is your house in order? You talk about the new year, the new you, the new me. Well, baby, you got to get your house in order. You can't ask God to send you new blessings if your house is in shambles. You can't ask God to send you a new man if your house is a wreck. You can't ask God to send you these blessings if you're not ready to restore what he's already given you in your own house. Do you have control of your house? So I'm asking each and every one of you to tag, share, and invite a friend, because this conversation is about to get heated. I'm already sweating. The fact that I just came straight from the gym, ran a little late to get on this live, and I got my man PDQ in the building on this live. You guys better be ready for this conversation. And I don't want it to be just a monologue. I want it to be a dialogue. So share your comments. Come on in the building. And to my married women out there, you know, there has to be an interchangeable position. Yes, we want a man to be our protector. Yes, the Lord is our head. Those positions that are non-negotiables, we don't change. However, if your man is the person who is the person who makes sure that the finances are in order, take a seat back and allow him to be your man. If not, then you don't need him. And if not, then he can go on about his business. But respect and trust that your man is leading you in the right way. That's why you got before an altar and before God and before a whole bunch of people that you ain't even know, because you just wanted to make sure that everybody came to your wedding was able to see. Check your household.
Hey, well, let me say this to you.
In the building. Go on in, PDQ. How you doing, my baby?
What's going on, baby? Let me say this. I think that's a dope conversation. So as a divorcee, let me say this. One of the things, right. I think one of the things we do is we go into marriages not understanding what we're walking into. And marriage is a process that you got to be willing to grow together, but not only grow together, be willing to fight for when times is hard. See, it's easy when everything's good. We laugh and we joking and everything's great. But soon as things get hard, soon as things get tough, when in those times we're supposed to come together, be closer and fight through, we put our parachutes on and jump out the window and say, you know what, I can move on to something new. When you said in the beginning that you was going to be through death do us part, you know what I'm saying? So I think a lot of times that we forget that process, man. Like you got to go into a marriage with the thought process that we're not exiting. There's no get out of this unless it's abusive or something where you just not winning in. You got to go in with the mindset that we're going to fight through whatever it is, no matter what. We in this to win this, and we're going to come out on the other side together. You know what I'm saying? I was watching the Will Smith Jada conversation, and they dropped some real jewels in that. If you haven't seen that conversation, you got to go watch it. They dropped real jewels.
You know, I seen it.
Right.
And it was really good, but you know what's happening? See, when people cannot, we don't want to take accountability.
Facts.
So what we do, instead of taking accountability, we begin to hate. And when we begin to hate, that's a way of pointing the finger to somebody else rather than saying, pointing them same thumbs back to us and looking in the mirror saying, So what happens is, rather than checking yourself, you rather deflect it and move it on to someone else and say, oh, that's not realistic.
Yep.
Oh, that's cool. Who got a marriage like that? Well, who got a marriage like yours that when you walk out the door, you look good, but inside it is broken? The furniture is arranged perfectly. You got the best Ashley furniture that money could buy, but your household is bland. It's broken. It's boring. You don't even communicate to your spouse. You don't even talk to them. And here's the thing, because listen, I have an ebook that's coming out very soon. One of the things we're going to talk about in the ebook is the not the 5 languages of love. You heard that, but understanding how to use your 5 senses to communicate. Because what we need to realize, women, is that when men communicate, it's nonverbal. But because you're so caught up in your own situation, you're so selfish, you're not willing to realize and recognize and take time to understand his level of communication through his nonverbal gestures. But you married. I's married now. I's married.
And be willing to teach a man how to communicate with you. See, I think that's the other thing. Like, if we take the time to teach the individual how you want to be communicated to, you alleviate a lot of the miscommunication. See, you meet a person and you jump right into the conversation, but y'all never talk about what's some of the things that you've been through and where you failed at and why communication is so critical. But you have to first understand how to communicate in order to teach someone how to communicate with you. And I think that's critical. Learn how to communicate effectively and what works for you in communication. Then you could teach someone how to communicate with you. As men, you're right. We do communicate with the nonverbals, but we also got to learn how to communicate verbally. And in the sense that I need to be able to meet you where you at in this communication, that we can grow together. So as I grow, you grow, we grow in our communication levels. That means we'll never miss each other in our conversations that we're having. And I can have a better understanding for what you need, because also in our growth, you're going to grow in your own way and I'm gonna grow in my own way. So that means things about you that's going to change and there's things about me that's going to change, but I got to be able to express that to you and tell you, babe, listen, I know I used to talk like this, but now I think we need to communicate on this level because this is where I'm at now. You understand what I'm saying? So change the communication.
And being comfortable. See, your wife, PDQ, has to see. Men, all it takes is one woman to break your heart. You don't trust women. That's it. That's it. One woman break your heart. We all pay for it, right? So when you do get in a relationship with a woman needs to understand that in order to gain that trust completely, we have to create a safe place for you to unveil who you really are. But that means that we as women got to remove ourselves, step away from all of our needs, and understand that we're not the only ones in this relationship, and that they have a need and a desire also. And a part of controlling our house means that I have to control, not just I need to have a control on the kids. Your husband is not a child.
Say that one more time.
Your spouse, he's not a child. So stop nagging him and communicate. Fact. You say your husband doesn't communicate, but neither do you. What you do is nag. Am I talking? Listen, I'm gonna lose some followers here. I'm prepared.
Hey, you might gain
thousands where I can make up for the ones who decide they want to delete me.
Nah, you might gain way more than you think because you speaking some truth. You know what I'm saying? So don't even worry about that. I'd rather speak the truth and let you feel it than not speak it at all.
I love you, PDQ. Nasir Shine said, men become nonverbal because when men become verbal, they are not accepting. It's defensive, hurtful. I want you to respond to that first, PDQ.
What he say? Men become nonverbal because when men become verbal, it becomes they are not accepting and defensive and hard. I think only way I can say I can respond to that is this. As men, we're not really taught growing up to be emotional or verbal, right? We're not really taught how to express ourselves in the best way. And so a lot of times we allow our masculinity to mask what it is we're feeling, what it is we need to express. So it becomes a maturity thing. You get to a certain point in your life where you recognize that I got to let go of masculinity and mature enough to be able to express.
Does that make you masculine? Does that make you masculine, PDQ? See, here's the thing, and I'm going to challenge you on this, right? Mm-hmm. A lot of men in our demographic, in our age range, right? They have this, they were brought up by a lot of single parents, single mothers, right? And they were taught based on the relationship that single women have with the men in their lives, whether it was uncles, fathers, grandfathers, cousins, exes, right? They trained their children or raised their children based off of the relationships that they had, which means they said to you, your mother said, even while maybe not your case, but in a lot of single households where there were men that were being raised by a mother, don't cry, be a man up. As Kevin Hart say it with your chest. Men don't cry, men don't. So does it mean that you're masculine because you don't cry? Does it mean that you're masculine because you don't express yourself? I respect and I am turned on.
Listen, let me tell you.
You see the eyebrow? You see the eyebrow, PDQ?
let me tell you. Let me tell you.
When a man cries and expresses himself to me.
Let me tell you, I got a new book coming out called Black Men Decoded, right? And one of the things I talk.
I get a copy?
Yeah, as soon as I finish, I got you. But I'm gonna hit you with this. Think about this. And I open the book and I talk about this. I'm gonna take you back. Remember in Boys in the Hood? Remember when Trey got pulled over by the cops, right? And he was so emotional in that moment, but he had to be hard, right? He couldn't show that he was feeling some type of way about this situation, right? And then he got to Nia Long's house, right? And he snapped. He cried. He was going through it. He was throwing punches in the whole nine. Remember, the key point in that part was she didn't know what to do with him. Remember when she went to go hug him and she was like, she wasn't even sure to hug him. So remember this. A lot of times women, they raise their girls and coddle their boys, right? So, and because a woman isn't a man, that whole mentality of don't cry, put it together, you got to be hard, you got to be tough, is something that not only the women were saying, but our uncles was telling us that if you fell and you scraped your leg up, get up, man up, you good, you gonna be good, take it on the chin, right? And all that does in the long run is it breaks down that boy who becomes that man's inability to be able to communicate with his woman what he's going through when he goes out on the other side of those doors. So now I'm bringing my stress, my drama, and what I'm going through on the other side of those doors home to you, and I'm incapable of expressing that to you because I feel like you don't understand, right? And so what that causes is this rift between us because I haven't matured enough in my articulation on how to be vulnerable with you, comfortable enough to you to show you that I'm hurting. Because in my mind, I feel like if I show you that I'm hurting, you feel I'm weak and I'm not enough man for you. So a lot of times those can be the issues. I'm not saying all men do it, but it happens. So we got to be mindful of what are we saying to our young boys? Because remember, those boys at some point are supposed to become men. And so we got to teach them how to communicate and build those relationships with women and not only with them, but with yourself, because know thyself is the key as a man. Growing up and knowing that I got to be comfortable with who I am as a person, as an individual, and as a Black man, that if I'm not there, then how can I be of importance to you? And remember this, right? Think about this. The one thing every man that ever made the history books, what's the one thing they got in common?
I don't know. Tell me.
They were all married. There's not a man that ever made the history books that's single. You want to know why? Because when the right woman comes into your life, she forces you to elevate who you are, because you as a man, right, and you don't want to fail her. So when the right one comes, you're pushing and you're grinding and you're going harder because you found someone that you can be vulnerable with. You found someone that you can tell those things that you wouldn't tell anybody else with. And you found the one that can hold you down in those times that you feel like you can't hold yourself. My favorite picture is that one where Barack Obama is on his knees. Michelle Obama is standing over top of him. And he's holding her waist, and in his back, he got daggers, knives, and all that, right? And she's fixing she's still fixing his crown. Why? Why is that important? Because the essence and strength of a woman enhances a man. And when you got the right one, the strength that you carry and you gather because of her essence and who she is, and her strength makes you feel like you can conquer the world, even when you feel weak.
Well, PDQ is in the building, y'all. If y'all didn't even know, follow PDQ Boss, okay? All right, but I want to respond. That was good, PDQ. So I have someone said, so where's the line between being, Niche Finney, hi baby. She said, where's the line between being a punk and communicating? So I'm going to say this. I think the line is only created when it's not a safe place to communicate effectively. I think the line comes from us. When we don't allow our men to communicate effectively or to be able to respond the way that they need to, whether it's in tears, whether it's into complaining, whether it's in whatever, and we start to call them PUSSYs, we start to call them other names, that's when the line is created, because we drew the line. See, he married you, or he got into a relationship with you because he thought that you were the one. You were the one that he could confide in. You were the one that he thought he could pour out to. You were the one that he thought he could trust with his emotions. You were the one that he thought that he could trust with the hurt that he experienced as a child. You were the one that he thought he could bear all his problems to. And not that you would make it better, but that it would just feel good to regurgitate all that he's digested through the years and through the day. But when you start to look at him funny, when you start to not respond to him the same way you would want him to respond to you, now there is a line where now he has to say, am I being a punk? Because the streets have taught him that expressing yourself emotionally or with emotion means you're a punk. But that's why he got with you, because he said that there's something in you that says I can be myself. But when you don't allow that, the line is now drawn, and you have created in his mind, he has to decide, am I being a punk or am I communicating? And rather than even take on the challenge of not knowing if he's being a punk or if he's communicating, he just eliminates the whole idea of being a punk, and he says, I'm not going to communicate. Am I saying something today? I think I'm speaking something in here today. Am I talking or am I talking? Yeah, you hear me? You know what I mean? I might have to put my New York on or whatever. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? I'm going to just have to, you know what I mean, come to New York with New York, you know what I mean, and drop a few bombs, because I feel like I'm saying something in the building.
But here's another piece to that. Listen, I say this to all the women on this line. The moment you emasculate the man you're with is the moment
you put... Say it slow.
The moment you emasculate the man that you so-called love, you lost him. He will no longer be yours. And I'm gonna tell you why.
The people in the back didn't hear you, PDQ. The people in the back didn't hear you. I want you to say, because you know it's like a parent. When you say it all the time, it going one ear and out the other. But my baby, they've never seen you on my live. So Sugar, if you could say it one more time for the people that's sitting way in the back. They didn't get their tickets early. They at the balcony. Say it again.
The very moment that you're comfortable.
Broke up.
Yeah, I know, right? The moment that you're comfortable enough to emasculate the man that you so-called love, you totally lost him at that moment. And I'm going to tell you why. Because one of the things and one of the reasons why as men, we don't like becoming vulnerable with you is because the moment you get mad at me, you throwing in my face something I told you that was personal. And now I regret the fact that I told you that, because that was something I told no one else. But now you're using it to stomp on my back and step in my chest because you're upset with me. So you emasculate me because you're in your feelings. And now that you've emasculated me, you totally lost me, because I will never, ever open up to you again, let alone will I even might stay with you, because now I know that the things that I told you and my vulnerability that you will now use to load and cock your gun and kill me with.
You shot me with the same thing that I thought you would protect me with.
Facts.
You killed me with the same thing that I gave you to cover me with. I gave you that to help me, but you used it against me. You wonder why I'm sleeping with the next door neighbor, because she understands me. And the first thing a woman says is, she ain't even cute, but her heart is beautiful.
Wow. Wow.
She ain't even all that, but her heart is worth platinum and diamonds. How he gonna marry her? And I gave him kids because her heart was worth so much more value.
And she protected my vulnerability. She protected my vulnerability.
My vulnerability when the streets taught me, when even my mother taught me that I couldn't be emotional. But she allowed me to pour out. And she, even if she didn't say any words because she didn't have a response, she just allowed it to stay safe with her. And when we got into an argument, she didn't take back everything that she kept in the back of her mind and say, yeah, well, that's why your father left you. That's why your father walked out. Well, that's why when this happened, that's why your mother, well, that's why. She didn't regurgitate that. She still kept it hidden because she kept the argument, whatever the argument was, based on the argument.
Listen, why? And during this new book, Black Men Decoded, I found out something. They say that one in 4 men have been molested. Let's just let that settle for a second. 1 in 4 men have been molested. And I say I'm 42 years old, right? So if I was a female that was 42, let's say over my lifetime, I've already had probably, let's say 7 men in my life that I've dated. Out of those, 1 or 2 of them have been molested. Do you think that man would ever be comfortable enough to be that vulnerable, to trust you enough to tell you, babe, I know sexually sometimes you think like, I'm not there, but let me tell you this. When I was 12, my mother's best friend did X, Y, and Z to me. And for a long time, I struggled with being comfortable with who I was because of what she did to me. And you are the first woman in my life that I've broken down and told you this. And then the moment you get mad at me, you say, you punk ASS, that's why you sexually Damn. I just opened my chest, gave you my heart, and then the moment you got in your feelings about me, you pissed on it and stepped on it and told me I wasn't worth it. So why would I be comfortable enough opening up to a woman to tell her my vulnerability on that level? And that's what I'm saying. You have to, as men, we're looking for, when we run into that woman that's different, that's that special, that's that in debt with me, that I can tell you that, shit, I could conquer the world with you. But I gotta know that what I'm saying to you is going to be in the confines of your soul, your heart, and your thoughts, that you would never betray me, no matter what it is that I told you and invested information of that nature in you. Will you continue to love me and hold me down the same way that I hold you down, but I told you something that most men would have never told you?
Whew. Hold on, you got me hot now, okay? You got me hot, okay? And don't make me cry on this live, okay? That ain't the place. But let me say this. Now I'm gonna put some onus on you, my friend. It comes a point where we have to lead without our sexual and without our genitalia. Mm-hmm. We have to lead with our hearts. We have to lead with our intuition. And we have to lead with the discernment that God has given us. Mm-hmm. Because everybody cannot afford to pay. They cannot afford the cost to obtain that kind of information.
Facts.
Everybody cannot afford that type of, that information you just relate, that cost, that's heavy in value, and everybody can't afford to carry that. So that's when we have to say, let me check my discernment. Let me check on my spirit. Let me go to God. Let me go to my faith and say, okay, Is this somebody I can share this with? Because if not, it's going to cost me more by releasing this to somebody that can't afford it.
Facts.
I need to make sure that this is somebody that can hold this thing. And it goes on vice versa for women and men, because there's some things that we've endured as women that we still don't want to. Although we are emotional creatures, it's just some things that's deep inside that the shame has eaten at us so bad that I can't even say it. But if I could finally find somebody that I can lay this on, oh my God, I would feel 100% free if he would just take it. I don't need him to carry it. I don't need him to do anything with it. I just need him to receive it. Vice versa for a man. But there comes a point where with maturity, that's why I tell people I got married at a young age and it ain't work. Right? I got married off of religion. And it said, oh, you had 2 kids, you're pregnant with your second child with this man, you got to get married. But the reality is, I now understand, or I now find a respect for individuals who wait to get married. Because there comes a point in yourself where you have to learn who you are before you can commit to somebody else. I'm not saying people who got married at 20, 21 is not in love. That's fine. But you're just you just became an adult at 18. Like, you haven't really found your way. And I think a lot of times, a lot of the reasons why we have so many failed relationships or failed marriages is because we get into them prematurely. Because we get into a relationship prematurely because we don't really know who we are. And by knowing who you are, you know what you want. And we jump in these relationships, and then we have failed marriages, and now we hate everybody, and oh my God, he's a deadbeat, oh my God, no. And that comes with maturity, with self-checking yourself. I was wrong, I moved too fast. Well, the sex was good, I wasn't supposed to go and have babies. The sex was good, I wasn't supposed to, now you mad. But that's all about getting your house in order. You know, so to get back to the topic, because we still on the topic, but one of the other things is that, you know, we worried about the Democratic Party getting in the House, right? But yet our children are suffering. Our children don't have a relationship with their biological fathers because a lot of single mothers are attached to the hurt that the biological father created to them. But yet you wonder why your son is acting out in school. You wonder why your daughter is fresh. Because there needs to be a balance in the household. But what happens, PDQ, when that woman gets into a new relationship and she thinks she's in love and she blocks out the biological father? Your house is not in order. I don't care how much that new man is in your home. Well, I don't care. He's not the father. But because this man cannot provide for you or cannot produce what you feel fit or what the judge said was enough for him, what the judge estimated your child to be worth, I don't even want to get on that. But because really the reason you go to child support is because you're vindictive, because you're hurt. So you say, let me hit him in the pockets, because there's 2 ways to really hurt a man: in his pockets and with his car. They value those 2 things. And so let me get him in his pockets, right? So we hurt him in his pockets and we go to child support and we get this man or this judge that don't know nothing about the situation, don't know nothing about the child, don't know nothing about what the child really needs, has no real investment in that child, and says, you know what, he has to pay, I'm looking at a number on my desk, $427. But because he can't pay you this week, he can't see his child?
Hold up, sis.
Get your house in order.
Is it about hurting them or controlling them? And this is why I say this. A lot of women run down to the courts. It's not always really about the money. It's that I can't hurt you this way and I can't hurt you that way. But if I go down to these courts, then these folks can control you. And they can control how your money moves and how you interact with your child, right? Now you playing in my court because I've been through all that. You understand what I'm saying? So you gotta understand, like, hurt people, right? And a lot of times we don't deal with our childhood traumas that we take into our adult life. And so we get into these relationships and then things don't work out. And now things look familiar or similar to what we went through. And now I'm gonna take it out on you, right? Or the other piece is you go here and you have a kid by this dude and the kid looks exactly like him. Now
you stepping on my toes, PDQ. You know my mama don't speak to me because I look like my daddy. Listen, come on now.
And so now the kid looks exactly like the father, and now I can't do nothing to the father, but what I can do is put toxic thoughts into this kid's mind and spirit at an early age about the other parent. So now the kid got this hate for the parent, but the kid never experienced the parent to even make that judgment because you took it from him.
Can you get off my life? You talking personal? This is personal for me.
It's personal to me too.
My mother and I have an estranged relationship because you see my dad, anybody that ever came to any of my events, y'all see my dad, he comes to all of them. We look the same. And even if you've read my book, The Great U21 Day Journey, you'll read in one of the chapters how my mom wanted to abort me. She didn't want me. And then when my dad threatened her, because he was a gangster, like, listen, you kill her, you flush it down and told her, I'm gonna kill you. So she had to have me. So imagine being stuck with a child who looks exactly like the man that you said hurt you, calling you mom. So what happened was I stayed on punishment. I was the only one out of all my siblings that got beaten with extension cord straight out the shower. She can't stand my mere existence.
Well, imagine being the father of the kid that, because the kid looks like you and the person wanted to be with you but couldn't be with you, but you were still willing to take care of the kid. They said, no, I'm gonna take the kid from you, and I'm gonna use the courts to manipulate to kill whatever type of recourse that you try to take or have to be able to solidify this relationship. I'm gonna take it from you. The worst feeling for a man is to not be able to be the father that his father wasn't to him.
You know you're saying something. Give the tambourine and the organ.
Listen, it's real, because as men, we usually, if you came up and your father wasn't present, your father was around, he didn't take care of you like he was supposed to, go pick up Fear of Becoming a Man. You'll get my story. But anyway,
put that plug in. You better put that plug in.
Real rap, go pick up Fear of Becoming a Man. You'll get my story. But what I'm saying is, when the father was around but not present, because my father was in the street real heavy too, and I look exactly like my father. And I always was like, I'm going to do for mine what my father didn't do for me, but then I got that taken from me. And the courts was assisting in taking that from me. So now you walk around with this hurt and this pain, and sometimes you trying to figure out, well, if I had another kid, maybe I can make up for this one. And I think a lot of times that's why dudes end up having 3 and 4 different baby moms, because one hurt him or one did this to him, so he feel like he can make up with this one for what he didn't do for that one. When in fact, you got to find a way to fix yourself internally and deal with that hurt and that pain before you can move on to do anything else. Because in the end, not only do you pay, but that child pays, because you ain't even full enough or fixed enough to be what you need to be to that kid, because you can't give everything that you need to give, because hurt people hurt people.
That was good. I got another scenario with getting your house in control. You ready, PDQ?
Let's rock.
What do you say to that woman who is married, husband is cheating, but she sent her? Now, me as a former adulterer, and I done took
High five me. Me and you both.
Okay. I done took a couple people's husbands, but it's one in particular that I really took, right, for years. But what do you say to that woman who she takes care of the kids, she makes sure that school is right, homework is done, lunch is packed, dinner is cooked, but she's not making sure that that man's needs are met. And we're not talking sexually, but yet he finds the comfortability and the comfort in another woman, but yet she or it may be the husband that's realizing his wife is cheating. But what do you say to that woman and say, or that man that say, listen, get your house in order? Because me as an adulterer or former adulterer, excuse me, let me make sure I put a capital F on that. Former adulterer, child, they'll be in my inbox. You hear me? But what do you say to those individuals? Because as a former adulterer, I know how I got in the door. It was very easy. The door was open for me, honey. I mean, the door was open, the window was cracked. Okay, they made a bed for me to get on up in that relationship. You hear me? I think they had my name. They had my name on the walls. Okay, Tasha Nee. Okay. You hear me? I think they had a picture of me on the mantelpiece. I was supposed to be in the building.
Yeah.
So you got this right? Come on. Oh God. I mean, I'm telling you, it was like you know what I mean? It was like cutting melted butter, like softened butter. I'm in there. Like, this for me? You know, hey y'all.
Well, so here's what I would say, right? So
how does she get her house in order? Does she take the husband back? Because a lot of women have a lot of pride, and it's not a pride based on, okay, I'm not supposed to. It's based on what their girlfriends might say, because they done too busy running their mouth, telling all their girlfriends their business, telling their sisters, telling their family. Now it's like, I can't take them back. If I take them back, but the reality is, that's who you love. And if you take a moment and be accountable, you'll say, you know what, I kind of opened the door for her. Or he may say, I kind of opened the door for another man to step in. What does she need to do to gain control of her house again?
So I might step on some toes with this. I don't know if you really want me to. I don't know if you really want me to respond to this.
Please.
So here's what I say. A lot of times we go into marriages already broken. So what happens is, the issues didn't start when you said I do. The issues is already in motion before you even said I do. And you chose to ignore the red flags or deny the situations. And you felt that once you said I do, it was going to be the Band-Aid to fix the situation in and of itself. When in fact, that is the farthest thing from the truth. And what happens is this. A lot of times people don't understand their worth. And a lot of times, ladies, y'all more than us, because we don't think on the level that y'all think. And so you got to understand what your worth is. You also got to figure out, is it worth the fight? If is this person worth the fight? Am I willing to get in the ring, put my gloves on, and go 9 rounds, whatever the situation that's coming my way, and I'm going to get knocked down, beat up, but what you ain't going to do is knock me out, right? And so whether it be, because as men, I'm going to keep it 100 with you. As men, when a woman cheats on a man, right, it's not only just a pride thing, we feel violated.
That's why women, y'all cheat, we take y'all back. Men, it's an automatic no-go.
Let me tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why. Give me a sec. I'm gonna tell you why.
Ladies, listen, before he drops this nugget, share this live. I want to say hello. Mel, I see your comment. I'm about to address your comment as soon as PDQ.
Tiana, I see you, sis.
Hello. Let's just say hello to everybody. Listen, hello. This is live. Y'all know I don't even really do lives this long, but this is good. This is good. This is good. Share this live. Share. Tag PDQ. Share. This message is really good, and it's going to help change the trajectory of a lot of you guys' households. And your future of your relationship and what's going on in your household with your children and your mates. For men and women.
I shared like 18 times. Thank you.
I love you. Yes, that's my baby. Blaster, you disappeared for a while, Blaster. I don't know where you've been, but I'm happy you're back. I pray all is well with you. Hello, Kelly Charles. So so this part right here, PDQ, is going to be very, very. Hey, Sakina. She's part of the Michelle Snow Network. You know her, PDQ, probably.
Uh-huh.
All right, so let's go. You ready?
Let's ready. You
A
ready?
lot of women want to know, why do men, the minute a woman cheats, it's a wrap. Oh, I'm done. I'm over it. I'm, this, that, and the third. But women, as soon as y'all cheat, we think about it. And that's the bad part. Women present to men like, oh, I know you cheating, but they still stay. And that gives them an idea. I can still keep doing this because there's something that's keeping you still here, and they're saying it's okay. But go ahead, PDQ.
So here's the thing, right? We talk about keep your house clean, right?
Get control of your house.
Well, get control of your house, right? But we're going to talk about not only having control, but having it clean, right? So think about this. You got a white carpet in your house, right? And every time someone comes to your house, what you going to make them do?
Take their shoes off.
Goddamn right, right?
Absolutely.
Now, so as men, our women are the white carpet. And the moment you never let another man touch you, you done stepped on my carpet and dirtied it up with muddy shoes. I can't do nothing else with this carpet anymore because you done put dirt and mud in my carpet, and I ain't trying to go clean it or steam it out because I don't need it no more. So I'm throwing it away.
So now I'm a hold it, killer. Hold it. Ladies, I got it. Hold it. Hold it. Wait a minute. I ain't got no wine. That's it. This almost called this man an M-word. Nasir Shine said that won't get clean. Listen. Okay.
Listen, hold on. Before you go, sis, hold on. Let me show you. Let me be clear though. Let me be clear. It's a mental thing, because as a man, you feel like you just let another person in my house and my house has been violated, right? You violated my house. And so now I can't go do nothing. And I'm not saying that when we do dirt, it ain't the same narrative. But what I'm saying is women are more inclined to be nurturing and open to work in the process. And as men, we gotta really be in love with you to take you back. And even when we take you back, right back here all the time,
it'll never be the same.
Yes, because my
Can you tag me in?
Yeah,
can you tag me in?
Let me finish. Because my carpet, my white Persian carpet, right, that I paid $1 million for, has been destroyed. Go ahead, sis. I'm gonna let you loose.
Tag me in. Listen, ladies. Listen. Nasir Shine said it's tainted.
Facts.
That's fine. Oh, facts. I'm going to help break down your fact. You and I both know, my God, as two intelligent creatures,
right,
that men are logical beings.
That we are.
Women are emotional.
Facts.
Men, you have emotions, but you're not emotional.
Facts.
So you recognize that for a woman, my God, to sleep with another man when they're in a relationship means that there's some emotional attachment, which means, my brother, your carpet would not get dirty unless you let somebody come in and walk on it.
You opened
the door, excuse me, you opened the door for those guests to come in with those muddy boots, because all the time before, She's been trying to relay to you that there's something missing here. There's something that's harboring in our relationship that we need to deal with. There's something that it's tugging that I keep trying to convey to you, but you keep comparing it and saying all I'm doing is complaining. So finally, just like you, I wanted an outlet. But see, the difference between you and I is you guys go off of physical. Okay, she bad, she look good, but see, we see men that look good in gray sweatpants and sweatpants season. Ladies, help me if I'm wrong. It's sweatpants season right now. Okay, so we see some men, and mind you, I go to the gym every day. It's sweatpants season, so it's something that we be like, Lord. But let me tell you what we do. We start to compare this. It ain't worth it because I know what I have at home. But what you do is because you guys tend to think with your genitalia, you guys react, and the littlest thing that we do wrong, you start to say, oh, that's the reason I'm out the door sometimes. But what we do is we keep trying, we keep nurturing, we keep trying, until there is a complete snap that says, you know what? Because one thing for certain and two things for sure, when a woman is emotionally detached, the relationship is over. I don't care if she sleep with you every day. I don't care if she still cook out.
Tag me back in.
I'm gonna tag you back in. But you got to give me a minute. So the next time you say that carpet is dirty, recognize that it was your responsibility as you are the protector of the household. Come on. You are to make sure that whomever comes in that household as a guest does not dirty up that carpet. You are the person to make sure that nobody comes in here that is not welcome. You are the person that's supposed to protect and use your discernment and say, you know what? This person does not belong. Let me not allow this person to come in. The only way the person comes in is because you opened the door. Go on. Are you ready for this tagging?
Yo, tag me in. Tag me in. Hold on. Matter of fact, hold on. Let me get right now. Hold on. Let me sip your drink. I'm gonna sit back and take a second now. Listen. So what happens is there's a maturity aspect that I didn't get a chance to tag in on, right? And so listen here. When you young, as a young man, you do young man-ish. So you're not a protector and the responsibility, and you're not knowledgeable to acknowledge that your woman has emotional scars or emotional things that you're not taking care of and you're not paying attention to, nor are you catering to. Women don't normally cheat to cheat. Women cheat because emotionally you haven't given them or fueling them with the things that you're supposed to do as a man. I respect that and I understand that is so true, right?